What's going on, Soul Tribe? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I'm bringing another little nugget to add to the Soul Tribe archive. I've decided that's going to be the official title of it. But the energies I'm going to be talking about in this video are going to be the Sun in Pisces in the 4th house. Now, let's start with the sun. Let's kind of break this down. Now, the sun is the sense of who am I? What this is the most important. This is a very important part. In the most important part, this is of your chart. This is what gives your chart life. And again, that sense of who am I? What do I want to be? How am I learning on this journey? And that's where the sign comes in. What energy am I learning through? And so now we're getting into the energies of Pisces, where we're digging into this awareness of something bigger than ourselves. We're tapping into our spirituality. We're trusting these intuitive guiding messages that we get. Pisces is they're very connected with source, connected with that energy, connected with that dream space. So this is ones who usually have very active dreaming energy as well. This is someone who also too usually reflects a very great active imagination. So, Pisces is a very compassionate, a very loving sign, one of the most loving signs. And then you got the 4th house, which is the house of the home space. This is the lowest part of your chart. This is the roots. This can be where you come from at home space, but also where you come from, again, from like that source, that universal energy, that God energy, and the gifts that you have brought with you, and those are being kind of anchored on there. So, that's interesting that with this energy, I got a lot with this. So the first thing I was thinking with this combination, I would think this is someone who would possess a very rich inner world that would benefit, I think, in finding themselves through some sort of like expression, maybe through the arts, especially when we're getting into 4th house. Let's say this person has a stellium. I actually happen to know someone who has a stellium but they have a stellium in the 4th house in Aquarius. But I would advise any sort of like water placements, 4th house stuff, especially if you have troubles maybe processing emotions. I would recommend some sort of therapy. And with this could be like an art therapy, a sort of like maybe music therapy. And if you're not maybe working with someone, just working with those gifts yourselves. Maybe you have a great voice, and you can find a lot of messages in those stuff. That's one way I've been working with music. I've been creating some stuff on the side, and it helps you just see what you're going through, what's happening, what's evolving, where your soul is wanting. It really can speak to you in some very powerful ways. And so whenever you feel lost, I would say making sure too, just with Pisces energy, it is very sensitive. This is someone who I feel would benefit not being aware of being cooped up too much at home, because I feel, depending on if you have any harder aspects with this, like many squares or oppositions, this could be someone who may be afraid of going outside, maybe who has created this illusion that it's only because Pisces is good at escaping. This could be where, you make it that the outside is this dangerous type of things. What's that called? Agoraphobia? Like that could potentially manifest like that possibly. So if that's something you find, maybe to work up to building outside. And again, this is something where this is not medical advice or anything, make sure to work with any sort of professionals, but maybe building a garden if you have a backyard there. And maybe this kind of opens you up to some talking, whatever that might look like, just opening up to some air. But also too, just making sure that your space, your environment is conducive to peace, that gives you where you can get back into yourself, where you can get into your daydreams, where you can get into that connection to source again, especially if you live in like a very busy kind of noisy city. Maybe investing in some earplugs because sleep is another one that I feel is very important for Pisces. Pisces has if I'm remembering the term correctly, very active vagus nerve. And so a little medical astrology there, but they, with that being active, they need that time for rest. They need that time for recharge. That's where people are like, oh, look at Pisces just out staring out in the space. Well, yeah, let them stare, because they're getting some downloads. I'm excited what they're going to bring back when they come to. But Yeah, that's one where I would suggest. Oh, and I would say if someone was looking for like a career or not sure what they want to do in that sense, any sort of like interior design, that would be wonderful. Maybe you're even selling some pieces, you're creating pieces for homes, possibly. Maybe you're building furniture, maybe you're building vases, maybe you make. Well, we got the stained glass in our window here. It's all right. I like it. It's a nice little touch. But maybe you're doing something like that. But absolutely. I would feel like this is someone who would do great in avenues along those lines. Yeah, absolutely. I would also see this too as someone who probably has a lot of love for their home space, that could create a very wonderful environment for a family. Maybe again you came up, maybe depending if there was like maybe some easier aspects, maybe you grew up in a very loving family here because Pisces is this unconditional love. Maybe your sensitivity was supported, your imagination was fostered. There was this sense of this love and understanding and this growth and this all this very healing, loving energy. But on a harder aspect, this could be maybe you had maybe a toxic upbringing possibly here. Pisces could be an escapism. Maybe we had alcoholism maybe running in the family. I could see that as something that could pop up there, something that maybe as a trend that maybe you're here to end, some kind of generational curse or generational baggage. Or this could be where boundaries, if we have hard aspects, could be an issue. Maybe we have parents who don't respect boundaries. Maybe or maybe we have siblings that don't respect boundaries. Maybe you're the one that's not doing that. But that's something I would pay attention to as well. This could also be maybe someone who's maybe doesn't feel quite at home in their home, possibly here when we're thinking about Pisces in the sun. Yeah, again, I would feel like that would be like a hard aspect. I see this could be like if a sun in Pisces was like in a hard aspect to, who knows what, just in hard aspects in general, maybe even to Neptune. I have my sun in the 12th house as opposed Neptune. So everyday life can maybe be a little hard sometimes. That could be something that pops up. And I find that if we can do some things that can, again, that's where I feel creativity can be in the mix. If you can find a way to bring that inner world outwards, it would not just benefit you, but that's going to benefit everybody else in the long run too. And you don't necessarily have to make money with it, but just like who knows what that could look like. Pisces really has like just like this really kind of limitless potential here with both their, because I like to think of with the signs that are, I like to call them the soul coaches of the signs. Pisces has Jupiter and Neptune in the mix, so there's an abundance of creative energy that they're working with. But I think let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to cover. But yeah, make sure to have a quiet space. And yeah, I think that's all I have. That's all I have for you there. In meditation, I find again anything that can get you to connected with source and pay attention to those downloads, because I feel like that's going to really help guide you, especially when you're feeling lost. Go the answers you have, especially with the fourth house, you have all of the answers within yourself. It's just asking for your guides, and then listening back to what comes and feeling what comes back. So hopefully you like this video, and hopefully you like these videos that I'm doing. And again, the whole purpose of this is if you have this placement, if you know someone who has this placement, I would love to hear how this has manifested, because of course I can only speak generally if I don't have the chart in front of me. So I would love to hear how this has maybe shown up in your life. And yeah, the whole point for this archive is for us to collectively add to our nuggets to this. And my perspective is only one view. Like we're here to, my goal is to just really stack this thing up, and for this just to be a place where we all come together. Maybe we schedule different lives and talk about these energies a bit further and go into deeper discussions, hypothesize. Oh goodness, it could be fantastic. So, but I will leave that there. So you stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.